Good morning. Sorry I'm late. I'm here. I was talking with somebody. So anyways, good morning. Hi. I made it. Sorry, I was doing some work with somebody else right now and I kind of lost track of time. So I hope everybody is having a lovely Saturday. My phone. So I hope everybody's having a lovely Saturday. Keith is in the back here making me some coffee. He's so good to me. So, anyways, I had a really interesting conversation with a friend of mine right before the show, and we were discussing how sometimes, hello, Kate, how sometimes we get in with people. Hello, Becca. This very interesting conversation about people that come into our lives and people that meet us, and people who either stay in our lives or they leave. Right? Kate says hi. He's all, tell her hi. Say hi. Oh, he says he's still waiting for you to call. He's a dork. anyways, this is my story and I'm sticking to it. So anyways, I was having a really interesting conversation with my friend. Yep, she says, yep, totally. So so we were talking about different people that come into our lives. The last few days has been really weird for me. I don't know, for those of you that know that we're friends on Facebook, whatever, it's just been really weird. So yesterday I was like, she's like, Kate, I don't have a phone. What? I know, she's my new role model. I wish I didn't have a phone. He's all, that's no excuse. You can send a letter. You can send a letter. Oh, thanks, Dad. Send a pigeon, he says, send a pigeon. So anyways, thank you. Thanks, Keith. So anyways, it's been like a really weird couple of days. My kids, I saw that my kid's cousin is missing in 29 Palms. So I've kind of been really frustrated with that entire situation. Just the dynamics of how the event happened are very troubling to me. And I've been sitting there. In fact, I need to get with my cousin Lisa, if you're out there watching. I spoke to Debbie about the situation, and it's very concerning because she's been missing since Sunday in 29 Palms, which is super hot, blah, 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 right? So anyways, that's one situation going on. We send him love and guidance, and Nana has been with him hanging out, trying to help him and different things, wherever he's at. So anyways, I had this really interesting conversation with a friend of mine about how we have people that come into our lives. So say, for instance, we're at a table. I don't know. I don't really even have 50 friends myself. Okay. But say you're at a table of, say, 50 people. You have them come to your home or wherever. And every single person, of course, we are all unique in our own way. We have, you invite these people. Some you may know, some you may not know. The good, the bad, and the ugly. They all bring something unique to the table. Whether they are nice, whether they are shitty people from your past, whether they are absolutely loving people, wholesome people, whoever they may be. And imagine yourself at the very end. You're sitting at the table and you're just looking around at all these people, and some are having a good time, some are crying, some are wasted drunk, others, the total dynamic, every single different kind of person at your table. Now, absolutely, we all bring different things to the table, absolutely. And this is something I had put on here, or that I had spoken to my friend Jill about. It's about free will. The bottom line about it was about free will, because we have all these different people with different dynamics around us every day, whether they be family, coworkers, friends, whoever they may be. But imagine yourself at the very end of your dinner, and all of the dishes that were used at that sitting, you had to wash yourself by hand. So you have this big pile of dishes, and the energy in each spoon, fork, knife, cup, coffee mug, plate, whatever. Every single dish held a piece of energy of the good, the bad, and the ugly, how their emotions were. Good morning, Julie. Happy Saturday. Now, as you're washing each and every one of these dishes, you're feeling what people are going through. That spoon that they stirred their coffee with, you feel that energy. And all those different things you see and you feel. But as you get that item that you're washing, that coffee mug or whatever, and you rinse it underneath the water, after you've washed away, you've helped them to wash away whatever that may be, and you rinse it under the water, and you have a clean cup. We can do those things for certain people. We can assist them with those things, but we all have free will. You send a prayer to that person that held that cup and help their sorrow and help their whatever it may have been, whatever that situation may have been, and you move on to the next one. Just like Kate said, we all bring something unique to the table, but we also carry real life that's happening behind all those things that people see on the outside world. We wear so many different masks, and we wear so many different hats as women, as men, as children. We have to, all those things are who we are. We're much different people at home than we are at work, right? We have to follow company policy. We do things that we're supposed to do, and it is what it is. We do the job, right? But when it comes to free will, we can help everyone we want. But at the end of the day, people are still going to have that free will. And it's a beautiful thing to make the choice that they want, to choose what they want. If I tell you to go right, but you want to go left, the dynamics that we bring into people's life, just like myself, being on a show, Kate, all these wonderful people. We give advice to friends. We become their shoulder. We become, how many times do our friends call us, oh my God, I can't, I need to talk. My sister, and the twins, Mandy and Renda, we sit here and we talk. We go to lunch and we talk. We give our voice. We lend our voice. We give our shoulders. We speak our words. We try and be nurturing in a situation as icky as it might be. We try and bring the upside to it to help them to push forward and not feel so stuck. And I think a lot of people are walking out feeling much better these days. A lot of people are working through the dark night of the soul. I normally don't I haven't mentioned the dark night of the soul for a while because, people are going through it. People that have gone through it. Some people haven't even begun to get there or begin that. But I think there's a lot of energy that's shifting right now. As more than usual. The change is happening. And a lot of people are like being pushed and pulled. I know I said this like a few months back. For those that don't want to be pushed forward, the universe is going to push you forward. People are going to start falling out of your lives that you may want to hold on to. Allow them to go. Some of them will return. Some of them may not. But when you allow the natural course to happen, it's a beautiful thing. Of course, within reason, we want to have those people in our lives that bring us joy and all those things, the lovely things in life. Absolutely. But remember that you're important too. Every time we help somebody, we give them a piece of our knowledge. We give them a piece of our love, our unconditional love, as we try best to, right? But at the same time, we remember we have to do those same things for ourselves. It's very important. Very important. Hello, Sue. Hello, Brams. How are you? So anyways, that was the discussion. Is like, I thought, okay, so who do you have at your table? I know I've mentioned this before. Who do you have at your table? That's very important. We don't realize how much we absorb from people around us. The things that, I don't know, how much of that do we carry with us each and every day? Do we carry it? Do we allow it to hang out the remnants of their bits and pieces of themselves that they leave their energy in our home? Do we clear out those energies? Some good stuff right there. Those are good questions. Because I know when there was this person I used to work with, and every time she walked in the room, it was like, whoa, you just got back. Stay out of the way. It's one of those things where you just know that energy. You just like, whoa, shit, I'm going that way. She's going this way, I'm going that way. We learn to step aside and not, and it's not that we're like cowering down or anything. We're just kind of like, you know what, I'm going to go this way. It's much healthier for me. It's not as, they right away, they just drain that energy from you. So who do you have at your table? Who do you have in your immediate circle? Hello, Miss Lisa. Those are the questions I always ask. Like my immediate circle, I have, is Keith and my dog. My children, of course, but they're busy. We all have a life. We all do things. Yeah, absolutely. So my grandmother is here today. My grandmother's been, I've had her running around, running about, helping people here and helping people there. She's like, I'm tired. But she's not tired. She's not. Hi, Phyllis. How are you, sweetie? Yeah, so my grandmother's, she's like super funny. She's been going around helping some healing. She says that there's a lot of things that are unexplained right now to a lot of people, but the answers will come. She says that spirit is telling her, well, of course, she's spirit and my other spirit guides. They say that we're all looking for answers. Oh, yeah, hubby, cat. Yeah, dog, bird, and yeah, your daughter and your son. Absolutely, Kate. Because when we create a circle, like my grandmother says, it's all about family. Family is number one. Family should always be number one. But at the same time, those that have they may not be blood, like they always say, they may not be family, but it depends on who you call family. Because even those that are on the outside looking in can be better family members than some of your own family members. Sometimes we look at people and they bring the light back to us. They help us to understand, and they bring out the best part of us. It's like just being in that energy. It kind of sets us forward into wanting to be better people. It's like a mentor without having the mentor label put on there, just because their knowledge is so soothing. Do you ever get around somebody and it's just so soothing? You're just like, I want to be here. This is where I want to be. This is where I want, you know what I mean? I love this, like flat. It's not that it's boring. It's like that fine wine you like. It just goes down so good. Or it's like that song that just hits so perfectly. I found this channel on XM radio and it's called Spa. I love the violin and I love what is the other one? Dad, Keith. It's not the violin, but that one instrument that I love the most.
Cello?
The cello. See, this is Keith keeps me. But the cello. Hello, Kimmy. There's something magical about those instruments. Some people may love the harp, or some people may love something very soft. Some people, it just may be, it all depends. It's just kind of like the ASMR kind of thing, that Reiki. Some people just may like to hear the sound of the hands. There's just anything that you just love to hear, and it transcends you to another place. Sometimes there's a song or a sound, like the ocean, listening to the ocean. It takes you to another place. At times, if you're sensitive, those of you, I believe, out here are extremely sensitive. You hear the sound of the waves, and all of a sudden you can smell the salt, the wind. You smell those things because you become sensitive. Your mind takes you to another place. This is the thing that I really, I love. I absolutely love. There's some people that fall asleep to the sound of rain. Then all of a sudden you can smell the rain. You hear it like it's hitting on the roof or something or outside. And that smell of renewal comes. That smell of the wet rain, the rain on the asphalt or on the cement. A lot of you are more in tune than what you think you are, than what you know you are. And those are the moments where in life, people can bring us that same exact feeling of just, you sit in your favorite recliner and it takes you to such a relaxing place that you're like, good God. I mean, you can't wait. You go to work all day and then you come home and you're like, I can't wait to sit in my recliner because it brings you to another level. It takes you to another level. It's like, it's the most amazing thing. Beryl, she was amazing and knew me. And so absolutely, Kate, absolutely. There are some people in your life that will, there's some people's dogs that know you better than you know yourself. Like Gypsy, she knows me. She doesn't care very much about me, unless I bring her something. But yeah, they know you. Every time I do a reading or like I do the show with Debbie on Tuesdays, right away she comes and she lays down next to me because she knows there's things out there. Absolutely. Then most of the time she's like, where's my breakfast burrito? Oh yeah, see, absolutely. You know what, Kate? You're absolutely, you know what my thing is? You know where my go-to is? I tell Keith, let's go for a drive. Even if I have to drive or he'll drive and I just sit there and I look at the trees. I look at the trees and I walk around, or we drive around, we drive around, put the window down, allow that wind to just take your hair. Allow it, just all that energy, just all those lovely things that we take for granted every single day. But those long drives, dude, oh man, that's where it's at. I told Keith we're going to go camping on Monday. I don't know, just locally here at this place, just to sit out there and look at the stars at night and see what the sky has to say. See if we see any UFOs. I've been listening to George Norrie at night on my way home from work. Good stuff. That's what Debbie listens to. So yeah. So you know what? What makes you? What's your guys' recliner chair? Or what is your guys' favorite scent? Or even a scent like lavender. Excuse me. Lavender takes you to another place. It's relaxing. Rosemary, all those things that take you. There's just certain things. Even just like smelling roses, it reminds me of my grandmother because she loved roses. Yeah, absolutely. You can see those. Absolutely, you can see the energy in the trees, Kimmy. Right? Mm-hmm. This is the thing that shows us how sensitive we have become. When you're able to look at the tree, this is okay. This is what I tell people. The movie Avatar, if you guys have seen that, and they go to the sacred trees, right? And in the sacred trees, you can see the life that's in them. You see the little white marks that go up and down. They look like ants, but they're not ants. That's the life force energy within that tree, within the ancestors, within the energy that flows through those trees. A lot of that energy, it's all there. In real life, it's there. It's there, and it's always been there. If you were to sit and close your eyes and you look at certain things, I know some people are more sensitive. Or okay, another thing, have you seen that movie Lucy? That's like one of my favorite movies, Lucy. How she's sitting there and she's seen how the energy after they, all that episode happens to her, all that horrible stuff happens to her, and she's like looking at the tree and she can see the red energy going through the trees and everything around it, all the energy that's continuing to flow because it's all vibration. Whenever you're able to see those things, anybody and everybody can, as long as they can slow their mind and just be there, just be in the moment. It's a beautiful energy. If you look closer, if you see it close enough, you'll be able to see those things breathe. You'll see them be able to move. The energy that it puts out is like, it's like almost as if it's loving you. It's like acknowledging you because you're acknowledging it. Have you ever driven down the street? The movie Lucy. It's with, I can't remember her name. She's got short blonde hair, but it's called Lucy. Just Google it. It's called Lucy. I can't remember her name. It's really good. You got to see it. It has I can't think of the actor's name, but he has the cool voice. The African American actor, honey, Keith. Hey, who's that actor that's in the black actor that's in Lucy? What is her name? The actress Lucy, the one that we see where they put that thing in her stomach.
Yeah.
What is that guy's name? He was in. Anyways, he's that famous guy with a famous voice.
Morgan Freeman.
Morgan Freeman. Yes, Morgan Freeman is like a doctor in there, like a professor. He's a professor. It's an amazing movie. You have to see it. It's called Lucy. Yeah, absolutely, Kimmy. Yeah, and seeing the aura, Kate, absolutely. And you know what? The thing about it too is that we feel things without knowing we're feeling them. And what it is that we need to take note of whenever we buy something, when we feel good. We chase that feeling of feeling good. I want to feel that again. Trust me, there are moments where I'm like, woo-hoo, and I'm like wide awake. I'm just super like, I'm in the zone. I'm like, I just want to be here. This is where I want to stay. It comes, it fluctuates, it comes and it goes because life comes and then we're just like, okay, I got to go to work. I can't, it's keeping that mindset. It's keeping that energy flowing, moving all of those things. And you know what I mean? And I think a lot of that too is that the longer we keep it, the longer it stays. The more we stay in our minds and in this place of unconditional love and peace and just love. It's that simple. Gratitude, like Debbie, gratitude. When we stay in that, it lifts us. We're able to keep it longer and hold it longer. Hi, Afia. I'm sorry. I saw you, but I don't think I said hi. And this is something like yesterday was a shit show for me. I mean, yesterday was like, I don't know, for those of you who saw my Facebook, I normally don't post things, but yesterday I was like a rattlesnake. I had the patience of a rattlesnake yesterday. True story. Today, I woke up, I had a little bit of that back, but you folks heal me. I'm grateful to be here. Your energy is so good. It's so wholesome. It's loving, and I love it. Oh yeah, yesterday was nobody. I told everybody, you know what? I'm telling you right now. I warned you once. And they were like, Carla, are you okay? They're like, here's a cupcake. One of the girls, she's super sweet. She's my little doctor. She's studying to be a doctor, and she's just this brilliant mind. She's like, Carla, she goes, I brought matcha cupcakes and cream cheese frosting. And I'm like, oh, bless your heart. I need coffee. So anyways, yeah, everybody's like, are you okay? Because they, I mean, most of the time I'm yeah, Phyllis, yeah. I am Grandma Willow. They call me Grandma Willow at work. Yeah, I'm Grandma Willow. So even the spirits of the children, the spirits stayed away from me yesterday at work. So today is a much better day. Yesterday, the energy was very weird. Everybody in the building was very off, meaning angry, just a lot of things going on, a lot of the energy, very, 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 anyways. So I think that sometimes we have to just shut her down, come back to self. But also, you know what, yesterday I'm like, why am I so angry? Why do I feel so like, ugh? Why do I feel like just like a rattlesnake with no patience? Certain family issues going on, like, my kid's cousin missing, circumstances around that. I think it's that emotion of feeling helpless, wanting to do more but not able to. So it's just one of those things where we have to regroup, or I have to regroup, understand that we all have certain boundaries that we're able to do things. And that is a lesson for me. So, yes, I did learn my lesson yesterday. So we'll see. We hope and we pray for the best. So, with that being said, hello, Bear. Good morning. How are you today? And you know what's really important too, Kimmy, I want to add to that is that a tree is more than just a tree. I have come to the conclusion that a tree brings me shade, things we never noticed before. A tree can bring you shade when you're hot. It can keep you cool on the hottest days. The wind does phenomenal things. It clears many things for on people's paths, and we don't notice those things. I've noticed so many more things as I've gotten older, and a lot of people say that all the time, that we don't pay attention to detail as we're younger because we have just such a life to live. We miss out on those small things, and when we do get older, we absolutely, some of us want to slow down so that we can look and see things much clearer. Notice the things that we took for granted as we were younger. When it comes to life, when it comes to our children, just when it comes to everyday life. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, Bear. You know what? There have been about 5 people, no, a lot of people passing that I've seen the last few days. I don't know exactly how, my grandmother, when I asked Nana, things like that. I mean, I know it's a horrible, there's people we don't want to let go, especially our children. We're never supposed to bury our children. Our children are supposed to bury us, right? We're never supposed to go first. Hello, Perry. And I think sometimes we just, some children, they come into our lives and they teach us these lessons. I see children all the time at work. They're sick. They're strong. Even in their most weakest moments of not feeling well, of their body being invaded by a virus or something that is in their minds or in their family's minds, something that is not, there is no cure for. I see the pureness of the smiles on their face. And a lot of those that they worry in their darkest days, in their worst days of feeling icky. They ask their mom or their dad, "Are you okay?" They worry about them. And I think sometimes I don't know how to put my finger on that, but I think that because they are such young minds and they're so angelic in their ways, that they're meant to heal regardless of what their situation is. And I think a lot of people can learn so much from young minds that are in such a way. It's hard to explain because I see some. There's just the cutest. Oh my God, the cutest little girl yesterday I seen. She was just the cutest curly hair. And and she says to me, she looks at me and she says to me, she's like, "Hi." And I'm like, "Hi, baby. How are you?" And she's super sweet. And her mother just has this look on her face of worry and concern. And she's just like, and I mean, I get it. I fully understand. That was like 2 days ago. And then yesterday I seen her again. "I'm going home." She was going home. Maybe for a little bit, for the mom said, "Yeah, we're going to go home for about a month and we're going to come back." Like, good for you. "Yeah, we're going to go home today." Super sweet. Super, super sweet. but she's like prepared. It was like some comforting, like she knew her mother was so worried. And I mean, I think it was the grandmother that was there too. But it's amazing what we can learn from children. I mean, it was just so like, I was like, oh my God, I'm like, don't cry. I'm like, don't cry. Whatever you do, don't cry. It's one of those things, because I feel that energy from the child is like, no, I've got this. I'm good. Whatever happens, I've got this. And sometimes I see like yesterday I seen with a little girl, there was like an angel kind of walking, kind of going behind her, little flutter, very beautiful. She knows she's divinely guided, and this is what gets me. She knows, and there are some other children that they know they're divinely guided. It was amazing. She had amazing energy. Even in her right now, my body is good, but I mean, it was just beautiful, beautiful stuff. Taking the cells home, so sad. Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I think at this time, just like they said before, all this stuff had happened. There was a lot of people that were not, that chose to cross over, that did not want to stay because their life contract allowed them to stay longer, or they could stay longer, or they could go. And for those that were not ready to continue on through this time, through 2020, through 2021, people that felt they weren't strong enough, yeah, they did cross over. They did decide to go. Whether they may be shortening their life lesson or their life purpose, we all have free will. Who we bring to our table and who we enjoy a meal with, and when we wash their dish after we're done, we feel those emotions. We see kind of, if we were to carry all that around with us, that would be a very long day. That would be a very long, like, roller coaster ride. So I like to use that. I just came up with that earlier, in the beginning of my video, but like before, when I was talking to my friend Jill, I said to myself, I use that. Nana brought that to me. And at times we need to be that cup, or we need to be that dish. And we need to wash ourselves off at the end of these long discussions, or these dinners, or the day with people. So we can come back to self. Yes, let the people be kind to us. Yes, allow those people to be a part of our lives if that's what's meant to be. But also allow those that are meant to leave, leave. Allow those that are meant to stay and be a teacher or a mentor, or people say, oh, they were a lesson or they were a teacher. I like to look at everybody as a teacher in my life. What are you here to teach me? What are you here to help me teach myself? And it's not even a bad thing. Help me to work on myself, and help me to figure out a way to either self-sabotage or procrastinate, or find a way to help myself, if that makes sense. My grandmother says that when we come along this battle, some of us call this life a battle, we're always having to fight something off, or acknowledge something that isn't necessarily ours, but we carry it for other people because we want to help them to unhinge their load, you could say, or to help them pass through time much more easily. But those lessons are never learned. As I told my friend Jill this morning before the show, I said, I can take all those things from you. All those, the good, the bad, and the ugly, or even, the ugly and the whatever. But sometimes we have to allow ourselves those shit show lessons for whatever reason, in order for us to gain that experience so that we're able to move forward and either come out the other side stronger, or become a teacher or a mentor for somebody else. We become more prepared for life and things that happen to us. Yeah, not everything we're going to be like, okay, I got this, I got that. No. But it helps that the blow isn't so hard if it does come around the next time, or something similar or something completely different. We're able to stand in our power and our truth. We rely on people that continuously let us down at times. And how do we take that power back so we're not continuously hurting ourselves or falling, or those people falling short? We can't put expectations on people that are unrealistic, because every single time we'll just become resentful. We fight. When we love somebody unconditionally, it's the hardest thing to do sometimes, especially some people in our lives. But we do the best that we can. When we allow people to come into our homes or come into our lives for that matter, sometimes we look at them and we want to look at them in the most purest of ways. This is one thing I've always been weird about. I've worked with people in my life, in my entire career, over 30 years in the medical field. And some people, they're just like, oh no, respect is earned. Okay, sure. If that's how you row your boat, fine, row your boat that way. Respect is earned. But what is wrong with giving respect from the very beginning? I'm going to respect you. And I'm going to take you at 110%. But what happens is that when they fall short of that, we understand. They're only human. We understand that. But at the same time, we also have the choice to stay or walk away. People lose respect for people every single day, whether it was pre-given or whether it wasn't given and they had to earn it or whatever. But why would I judge somebody from the very beginning? These are my words. Nobody has to go by this, but this is what I do. Why wouldn't I respect you? You've done nothing to me. Why would I not give you that? Why would I not honor you in that way? We all see something, and we meet somebody and they're like, there's something so similar about them. There's like something I know. You know how you meet somebody and you're like, there's something so familiar about you. That energy, that, or like yesterday, I totally had a deja vu about people that was there at work. And I'm like, wait, hold up. Nothing happened, but it was just kind of like, oh, interesting. In another time, in another place, I might have known these people, this person, the circumstances, but it doesn't make them any less than. It doesn't make me judge them from the beginning. It doesn't make me feel that they are completely unworthy of my respect. It's like, okay, you have to do this, and that in order for me to show you some respect or give you respect. Like, again, to each their own. But the way that it was always told to me, it was always kind of like in a shitty tone, or just kind of, well, respect is earned. Okay, so if you're not giving them a chance, how are they supposed to earn your respect? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, anyways, so my grandmother says to me yesterday, she's like, you know what? After I was able to go get coffee, this morning she says to me, yesterday she kind of watched me. She just kind of stood back. She's like, okay, not every day can be perfect. She's like, I have been waiting for you to show your colors, like to allow that energy to just, just to go, just like, and it wasn't a bad thing. It was just kind of like, okay, I'm done. I'm filled up to the top. Let me pour out my kettle. I'm good. And it wasn't a kettle of good stuff. It was just kind of like, So anyways, my grandmother says to me this morning that every day we walk a different path. We have the opportunity to wake up and, of course, choose who we want to be, how we want to be, who we want to see and who we don't want to see. All those dynamics. Choices, choices, choices. Free will, free will, free will. Now, when we look at our immediate circle and we see the love, we see the vulnerability of some people because they're walking their journey. They're opening their eyes, their newborn eyes. They're unlearning things that has been tormenting them pretty much for all their lives because, you can't eat this, you can't eat that, you're too fat, blah, blah, whatever was ingrained in them as a child. All of those things we were told as we grew up. And I think a lot of it has to do with letting go. When we let go of things that do not serve our best and highest good in this moment right here, we no longer carry those things in our heart, in our mind, in that broken record, that skip, that in that record. We're able to pass that up and the song continues to play. Sometimes we get so stuck on a situation, and I'm not trying to downsize or down talk anything that's happened to anybody out here. Because yes, when things in our life sting, that sting, you can pull that stinger out, but it continues to hurt. It may burn. But there's always that memory when you touch it. I remember I got stung by a bee there, or whatever. We look at it and we remember. We feel it. And at times, we have to remind ourselves, well, every day, even if you have to do it every day, every second, how lovely you are, how important you are. My grandmother always used to say how, I know, yes, be good, she always saw the great, true story. She always was just very loving, very just like, I know, oh, they're such good kids. They're brats. You know what I mean? They're brats. They can use a good, but she was always, always, always like top shelf talk about everybody. Always inspiring. Always somebody who just like, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And the thing about it was that she says to me at times that we still have to do what we have to do to take care of ourselves. In her life, she says that she always used to take care of other people. And then, yeah, she would get tired, but she kept doing it. She kept doing it. She's like, but now she sees how important it is to be in oneself, to take that time to do those things for yourself, that you're able to be much better. She's like, you're much stronger. You're much wiser. Your knowledge becomes sacred. It becomes a teaching for those in our children and our ancestors, what our ancestors teach us, and they flow to our children. The learnings and the teachings of what we are today to like our ancestors that have passed on, those are like libraries that have died. The knowledge that has been lost. And it's our job to teach our children and our children's children. There are certain lessons in life, the teachings of sacred and how wonderful we are. Those need to be implemented as well. Not just, the old school Mexican way of cooking, cleaning, taking care of your man and all of those other things. I'm just pointing that out because that's how my grandmother was, just, housewife, working, all this other stuff. But also coming back to self. Being able to nourish ourselves. To believe that we are much greater than what we are, to have that belief within ourselves, to not look for self-recognition outside, but to find it and seek it inside and acknowledge it, how wonderful we are. My grandmother used to always say too, is that, she had many lessons, but at the same time, she always said, don't forget how powerful you are. Understanding how, yes, as nurturers, as mothers, as grandmothers, yes, we wear those hats. We have those hats. But also we are human. We are who we are. Keeping in our strength and keeping in our truth is always number one. Always number one. So anyway, let's see here. My grandmother's just like talking and talking. She's super fun. She's like, good job, mija. Good job. Good job. If chosen, can I get a reading about the girls that obsessed with my relationship? What? Why would you care about other girls that are obsessed with your relationship? They're not your friends. They're not Who cares? If you have more than one person in your relationship, you're not in a relationship. You're in a harem. See, this is the thing about oh, now you got my grandmother started, Brianna. Just want to tell you that. When my grandmother says that when you're in a relationship and there's too many women in the kitchen, you've got a problem. If you're in a relationship with a man that cannot stand there and say, hey, you know what, I'm in a solid relationship, all of you other women need to get back, he's not in a relationship. You're in a relationship. And if you're standing there listening to these, like I just said, oh my God, Brianna, who do you have at your table? Who do you have at your table? The good, the bad, the ugly. You know, I've always told my daughters, sacred cow right here, sacred cow. I used to always tell my daughters, I go, you think your friends are your friends? This is my grandmother's teaching. You think your friends are your friends? Those girls that want to know everything about your relationship, they want to know about your man, they want to know about, you know, this, and that, your private life, those are not your friends. You know, and I like to think that I raised my daughter smart enough. Yeah, they've been burned a few times. You know, they think these people are their friends and they're not their friends. There's one she continues to talk to, and I won't say who it is, and I won't say which daughter it is. She continues to talk to this person, and I'm like, oh. The next time you see your friends and you're in a group of friends and you're in a relationship, stop. Just stand there and look. Say nothing. Sit in your silence. This is the perfect lesson. And I tell my daughters, this is why I sit and I just do what I do. Whenever I go somewhere, I sit there and I just watch people and I see how they interact. If you're sitting there with your people and your friends and your relationship, let's look and see how those girls look at you and how they look at your man. See how your man looks back at them, whether he acknowledges them, whether he's very nice. I'm not saying every nice guy is screwing around, but what I am saying is that if a man you're in a relationship is looking at other women the way he looks at you, guess what? You got a problem. Actually, you know what? You don't have a problem. You have a solution. He gave you all the knowledge that you possibly could ever need in one look, in silence. Now, don't sit there and obsess about it, but I think you already know. The more girls talk about their relationships and they post all their stories and their drama and oh my God on Facebook, you know what? The thing with society, here comes the rattlesnake, is that everybody wants to post all their shit on Facebook, or I'm here, me and my man. You know what? There's certain things you need to get private. If you're so open about your relationship and everything else, you know what? You're just welcoming in trouble. You are inviting in it. You're just like opening the door and saying, here, go ahead, come on in. There's the kitchen. There's that, you know what? And I'm not saying all relationships are like that. But when young, beautiful ladies come here and they start asking those questions about, well, is my relationship, you know what? If you've got to ask, you already know. This is my grandmother speaking. The things that I've seen in my days in all relationships, if a man tells you that he loves you, I'm sure he does love you in a certain way. But the next time he tells you that he loves you, ask him, why do you love me? Oh, you know why. No, I don't. If that question makes a man uncomfortable, then maybe you need to question why you're with that man. That's just a little, little knowledge. Maybe because I'm older and I've, had a few failed relationships. The problem in a relationship for me personally is that, you know what? After my relationships were over, I would tell them, you know what? You never seen me. You never would see me. Yeah, you could see me, but they never saw me, if that makes sense. For those of you that know that, they saw give, the person that could give, right? Give all day long. That's all they want, some of them. Your money, your time, your body, whatever. Whatever they needed, they took, right? But they never saw you. The inside of you that you could, that needed nurturing, or that needed anything. So we become destroyed by people who say that they love us. That is not love. Don't allow somebody to steal your power by the words of, oh, I love you, and then fail to meet your standard, or not your standard, but your itty bitty little pieces of wanting. This is how people are improperly loved, and then they feel like, oh, he said he loved me. No, he didn't. Yeah, I used to tell my kids, yeah, date a lot of people, fall in love as many times as you want, but understand that whether they're here to stay for good or whether they're only here for a season, allow them to leave. Learn the lesson. Know the difference between what is true love and what isn't. Even if it lasts for years, yeah, allow it. As long as you're comfortable, as long as you're not self-doubting or you're becoming less than. If they steal your thunder and you're no longer that powerful, beautiful woman, creative, that you are, that's not for you. That's not the person for you. Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Lisa, you always ask me, I mean, I don't know if you just missed it, or Lisa, you always ask, when are you going to meet someone? But are you the right person to be met right now? Right now, right here and now, 110%, you are completely ready for a relationship. You are able to give somebody else. You are completely so in love with yourself, and not in a selfish, greedy, egotistical way, but you are completely like, I'm loving everything about me. I'm able to step into my power and speak my truth. I'm able to share pieces of myself with somebody else, that I'm able to become a good partner. I'm able to give 110%. I'm able to do those kind of things. Absolutely. You know what? The universe always says, when you're ready, that right person will show up. Until then, we continue to do the work. There's so many people, and I'm not saying this is you, Lisa. I'm just saying, there's so many people that leave one relationship and then like a week later, hey, what's up? Carrying the old baggage from the last relationship, haven't learned nothing. And then they're like, why can't I find somebody? Because that dude's gone in a week or 2 weeks later. Why? Because you're looking to replace this guy with this next one that steps in, and he's not the same, or he's just not. He's like, well, no. This is the thing. This is the thing. If you were to get all of your exes in one room together, if you were to get all of these people that you ever dated, whether it was short-term, long-term, one-night stand, whatever it might have been, get them all together in one room and sit there and ask them, why didn't it work out? Would you be ready for that truth? Would you want to even hear that truth? What if they all said the same exact thing? What if they all had something different to bring to the table? Then you're like, oh, okay, I get it, whatever. But what if they all said the same thing? There's just this one thing about you that they just couldn't live with. They couldn't tolerate it. Would you take it? Would you learn from it? Or would you be like, oh, screw this guy. He don't know what the hell he's talking about. He was, whatever. This guy or girl, whatever. I mean, would you speak that truth? Would you take, if they were completely truth, all they could do, if you could put them all in a room and speak that truth, would you want it? Would you take it? Would you embrace it? Would you make those changes? Would you say, okay, you know what? Hey, I accept it. That's a beefy place to be, to listen to people tell you what your flaws were and be able to take it, embrace it, and fix it. I'm not saying that's you, Lisa. I'm saying that's many of us do. If I was sitting with my exes, they'd probably tell you I was a bitch, or I was just like stubborn. Yeah, because I like things a certain way. I don't like to be treated like I'm insignificant. I don't like to be cheated on. I don't like to be, there's, like they say in a relationship, there's always the three, the truth, my truth, his truth, and the real truth. The three truths, right? It's all in our perception. Keith and I just had this conversation the other day about perception, how people perceive, how we say things, how we do things. How many times have you guys gotten a text message and you're like, why are you yelling at me? You're like, it's not all in caps. I wasn't yelling. I wasn't angry. You're like, oh, sorry, my bad. I thought you were upset. Keith does that and we do that all the time. Or when I send like a little bit of a longer text, he's like, why are you mad? I'm like, I'm not mad. I'm just trying to explain myself. It's funny. You know what I mean? Things can easily get misconstrued, misinterpreted, blah, 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 whatever. So Lisa, this is my question to you. Have you been looking? Have you been putting yourself out there, looking for somebody in a different dynamic? And this is the other thing too, Lisa, let me just tell you this. Maybe he is still going through his lessons. Maybe you're feeling that, yeah, you're ready, but sometimes the right person is still having to learn their own lessons and then they'll come around. True story. True story. I think that's something that a lot of us having that patience. And the minute we stop looking for it, what is it that happens? The minute we stop looking for it, all of a sudden, boom, pops up. Here it is. I'm not saying you're looking for it every single turn or whatever like that, but Lisa, this is the thing too, is that I like to tell people, do something different. Get out of your comfort zone. Bless you. Yeah, so you don't go out much because of virus. Absolutely. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that, Lisa, because a lot of people have become closed down. Is it safe to date? Shit, would you want to go meet somebody and all of a sudden he wants to kiss you? You're like, hey, wait, hold up. It is a very scary time. We were talking about it at work the other day. We're like, shit, I bet you the flu misses everybody. I'm like, and I don't mean to be disrespectful or nobody, but I'm like, I remember, Kate says, bless you. I remember back in the day when AIDS first came out and it was like this huge scare and everybody was like, this is like even more because this is hitting, everybody. And this is what we were talking about. I was like, oh my God, I remember when AIDS came out and it was like this huge, like the great fear that came out. And now all of a sudden, here we have the coronavirus and it's the great fear of all ages. Our nervous systems have been shook to like no end. People have been closed in and people won't mingle with their own family or friends. Yes, I can respect that. I fully understand it. So dating is like on the last of the list for a lot of people. But understand this, Lisa, a lot of people, this time, this year, this whole pandemic, a lot of people have come back to self. A lot of people have gone within that silent time. A lot of people didn't have to worry about going to work. And I'm not down talking, because, people are not saying, anything, but what I am saying is that for those people that were able to stay home and go within the silence of not having to get up and, go to work every day, that whole rat race and be out. People were made to stay home, to go within, whether they stayed with their families, their children, all that other stuff, but there was still that moment of silence where they're able to stay home and find that comfort again here. Yes, with outside things going on in the world, but however they could. I know this here, me, I found a deeper meditation, a deeper silence, a much more sensitive way of living other than just like the old rat race before. It's been 3 years, 2 years before that, but this whole last year, that's when I really did a lot of soul searching. I really did a lot of things that took me to another place, another way of thinking, a higher level of ways of being. There's a lot of things I would still love to do. Absolutely. Absolutely. But we come back to ourselves. So a lot of people have come back to themselves. A lot of people have experienced the dark night of the souls. A lot of people have done so much. More than they could have if they were at work. That's what I'm trying to say. I have asthma and my body don't like any medication, so I don't know about the shot. You know what, Lisa? The thing about it is that your body will tell you if you know what your body needs and you know how to act or react when your body starts talking to you and telling you things. You know you have to be safe in everything that you do. And it's not because paranoid or nothing like, no. You honor and you cherish your body, and you have to take those steps to be safe, to be healthy, as well as to make sure that you're well taken care of. Yeah, we get lonely, absolutely, but also we have to make sure that we're safe, and that that person that things will start opening up slowly. But pace yourself. Absolutely, there's somebody out there that what's meant for you will always find you. You will never get robbed out of anything that's wonderful, that's meant for you. Anything that is meant to be yours will be yours, but all in divine timing. Kate, you only have one kidney, which isn't working well, so I can't get the shot, and it could react with my. Oh, Kate, wow, I didn't know that. My goodness. Send Kate some healing, some loving energy. Yes, feeling that good stuff, that primered up stuff. Yes. You know what, Kate? I think that there's so many different things that we have to do. Yeah, absolutely. You know what? Even a friend, somebody that you're able to hang out with, somebody that, but see, this is the thing, is that a lot of people, and this is why I always harp on that. You know what? Speak your truth. How many people start dating and then all of a sudden they're like 3 months down the road, they're like they can only hold their true selves in for so long. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh no, I'm actually vegetarian. I don't like red meat, that kind of thing, or whatever. They start pointing out those things that, oh, you said you didn't like lettuce or whatever, you don't like salads, and all of a sudden she's, you know what I mean, or just like, I don't like to drink, and then all of a sudden you find out 6 months down the road she drinks like a fish, or he drinks like a fish, or whatever. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. If most people would meet and speak their truth when they meet, and not portray themselves as somebody completely different, most people would know from the beginning whether they were meant to be or not, or even friends for that matter. A lot of people like to put. There's a song from, I can't remember the country singer, and he's like he's he can be anybody who wants to be on the internet. He's like 5'6", or no, in real life he's like 5'6", but in the video he's like, oh yeah, he's like 6'2" or something like that, and he's slim and he's tan and all this other shit. And then it turns out he's like some 5'6" nerd that's at the house and lives in his mother's basement. I mean, it's just like one of those things, whatever. But you know what? We all portray to be something that we're not at times. Well, there are those that are out there, and they hurt people dearly. Yeah, Brad Paisley. Yeah, that's that song. Yeah, internet. He could be anybody who wants to be on the internet. That's funny. Yeah. Now they don't wait at all. They just booty call. Oh yeah, absolutely. You know what? I'm telling you, Kate. I've seen some people, and some of them are just nonstop. They're like, whatever. Even during the pandemic, they're like, whatever. I'm all good for you. Can you stay over there? So anyways, yeah, absolutely. All right, you guys, my time is up. I didn't realize I was over my time. I want you guys to have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Always remember how wonderful you are, how important you truly are. Divinely guided, divinely loved, and all of those wonderful things. Make today the day where you go hug a tree. Feel the energy. Let the wind flow through your hair. Walk barefooted, safely, on the grass somewhere, on the dirt. Allow Mother Earth to release those energies from you. Allow her, give her permission to pull those lower vibrational energies, those things that weigh you down. Allow her, give her that permission to take those things from you that no longer serve your best and highest good. Know that you guys are the bee's knees, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. I love you too, Kate. I'm going to send you healing prayers. Nana's sitting on the couch with you. She's going to go ahead or she's actually, you're probably in bed, so she's sitting on the edge of the bed, and she's just going to go ahead and she's going to just touch your back. Allow her to heal you. Allow her to send you healing. Allow her to just talk to you. She's singing. Lawrence Welk, if you see bubbles in your room, you know that it's Nana. I can't take her nowhere. Anyways, I love you guys. You guys are so wonderful, and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Please be safe. Enjoy this beautiful weather. I'm in sunny San Diego, California. Enjoy your day. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Steve Curtis, you're very welcome. I'm so grateful for you, Steve, and your lovely bride. She's just, no wonder why she was sitting there this entire time. She was waiting for you, Steve. She says she loves you. She says she misses you, but she's in the kitchen. Are you cooking in the kitchen? And she stands in the kitchen next to you. You may hear humming at times. Something about the refrigerator light flickering. She says, make sure you're eating good. And also, take the dog for a walk. Do you have animals? Make sure you're taking the dogs. Take care of the dogs. Pat them on the head. Steve, yes, your wife that passed on. There is a lady that was here, right? Your wife, she's the one that passed on. She says, that's my Curtis. She said that, yes. Yes. Well, the animals that, I don't know, I'm seeing a dog. I have no idea. Yes. She says, yes. Rub them. Yes. Sweet. Absolutely. She loves you, Curtis. Absolutely. I remember you. And that's why she comes. Yeah, she's in the kitchen with you when you're cooking, when you're doing things. I see you standing there and you're in deep thought. And she says that you're making phenomenal food. She's like, yeah, that's not how I would do it though. She loves you. She says she misses you too, but she's always with you. Hello, Marianne. I'm doing fabulous today. She hears you. She hears you. She's always in the kitchen. She's always in the kitchen with you. She loves you very much, Curtis. Steve Curtis. Yes, absolutely. You know what? She likes to stand around. Sometimes she comes in, so she knows that this is how we can communicate. But listen, whenever you're in the shower, she says that, or, in the bathroom, she's like, I want to leave little hearts. She wants to leave little hearts, but she's afraid. She doesn't know how to do that yet. She doesn't know how to do that yet. When the steam and the little hearts like that. She doesn't want to scare you. She's like, I don't want to get creepy. I don't want to get weird. Oh my God, she's so super cute. She's talking with my grandmother. She's absolutely lovely. Mr. Curtis, she's always with you. She's with you when you cook. She says, sing. She's humming. I hear humming. Very lovely. I bless you. Tell her when she learns to do it. Absolutely. Absolutely she will. There's a ticking that I'm hearing, a clock. Something she says that time. Yes. There's a I hear a chiming noise. Yes. There's a chiming of a clock. Something, she says. Know that she's there. It's not like a grandfather clock, but it's almost like a chime that chimes. That's her. You guys are awesome. I love you so much. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend. And Steve, she'll see you tonight at dinner. Have a good day, guys. Bye.